Hi everyone, welcome to Hearth and Home. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. This is my second YouTube video, my first talking YouTube video, so hopefully it all goes well. Today is the 5th of October 2020. It's absolutely horrible outside. It's raining, it's gloomy, it's perfect weather for me to share with you my favourite books to curl up with on a day like this. A lot of these books are from my childhood. I saved them and now they actually belong to my daughter, who is 2 years old, and I'm reading some of them to her now. So I'm just going to talk you through them. Mostly children's books, some of them are reference books, but they're all innocent. They're all family books. You can read them with your children, you can read them with your grandma if you like. And they are all just a little bit magical because life is full of everyday magic. I'm just going to take you through my favourite books. Not many of them, it's only going to be a short video. So without further ado, let's get going. Number one is Lewis Carroll. This is the complete works. I found this in a charity shop and I was so happy. We all know the story, well, I'm presuming we all know the story of Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass. But there's so much more to Lewis Carroll's work. Just so pleased to have this book, and I sat down immediately, and those two were the first two that I read. Book number 2, I rescue, is A. Milne, Winnie the Pooh and the House at Pooh Corner, the complete works. Winnie the Pooh it's I don't know, it's just childhood, isn't it? The 100 Acre Wood, Christopher Robin, Wall, Kanga, and of course the incomparable Tigger, bouncing around, bringing joy and happiness, even sometimes to Eeyore. So today, being so horrible, is definitely an Eeyore weather kind of day, but with a Tigger attitude, right? Book number 3. I feel like I'm counting with my little one, Eleanor. 1, 2, 3. Book number 3 is The Little White Horse, which is just my favourite book of all time. I read it for the first time years and years ago. Maybe I was, I don't know, 7 or 8. And I've always had a copy of it on my shelf. This one is a bit dog-eared, very well read, probably been dropped in the bath. This is Eleanor's now, and there's a little message in the front of it. When she was very young, we had to leave the West Country. We left Cornwall. That's where this book is set, in my beloved home county of Cornwall. We don't live there anymore, but every time I read this book, every time I read the descriptions of the sea, the countryside, I can smell the earth, the special smell of Cornwall, and this book takes me back. It's about a girl called Maria who has to leave her beautiful home in the city of London and move to the countryside, and she has adventures, and it's absolutely full of magic, and I recommend it to anybody of every age. It's a beautiful book. Book 4. Rather more grown up, Grimm's Original Fairytales by the Brothers Grimm. This is not a Disney book. This is Grandma getting eaten by the wolf. This is the monster under the bed. Don't read it to your kids without reading it first. But I love this. I love curling up with this on a stormy evening with the wind and the rain lashing against the window. It makes me feel a little bit scared in a very delicious way. Highly recommend this version for the grown-ups and the fairy tales for the children. Book number 5 is The Wind in the Willows. If you've never read this, you must read this. This book is everything. It has got an incredible cast of characters. It's got little pearls of wisdom, Mr. Toad, oh my gosh. And it even starts brilliantly with Molly painting his house at the beginning of spring, looking outside, seeing it's a beautiful day, throwing down his whitewashing brush and running out of his house, going off to have adventures. And the everyday magic of leaving behind your responsibilities for an afternoon or a day or a week and going off and actually just having fun. That's what life's about, right? Wind in the Willows. You should read it. It's fab. And if you've read it, then read it again. Read it to your kids. Read it to your granny. Everyone. I was going to say everyone loves this. I'm not sure if they do, but there is something for everyone to love in this book. It's, in my opinion, it's just one to read. Book number 6 is, we're moving on to non-fiction books. These are they're not children's books, but they are suitable for children. There's nothing violent or rude or unpleasant in them at all. They're not the kind of books I read. I read books which are escapism. I sometimes read horror or cozy mysteries, but I don't read serious books full of murder and mayhem and nastiness, because for me books are an escape and the magic that they bring is the important bit. So book number 6, I think, yep, is The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. This was written by a lady called Edith Holden. She lived in the countryside during the Edwardian period. I live in an Edwardian house, so I was really, really interested to know what it was like in those days for people who lived in the countryside. And it's a diary written day by day of her experiences in the year 1906. 5th of October 1906. Today I was watching a number of sparrows and tomtits fluttering round and hanging onto the heads of the sunflowers that are all gone to seed in the garden. The birds have evidently discovered that the interstices between the sunflower seeds are a favourite resort of insects, more especially beetles and earwigs. The weather still continues close and showery, a little bit like today. Book 8, I think it's book 8. I'll count in a minute. And book 8 is a gift. It was a gift, but it is a gift to me. In 2015, I went to Italy to do my yoga teacher training, and we stayed at a beautiful place called Terzo di Dantiano, which I'll link below. I'll link the website. It's in Italian. I think it can be translated to English on the website as well. But the host, Luca, he not only runs the most incredible villa, but he's also a very gifted artist. And this is his book. It's a series of illustrations of his tour of Umbria. He wrote to me in Italian, and I don't actually know what it says, but I'm learning Italian, so I will be able to read it. And notes and sketches from a grand tour of Italy. And his sketches, his work is like this. It's absolutely beautiful. The depth and the detail he puts in. Italy's such a special place to me. I've travelled there only twice, and every time I leave there, I leave a little piece of my heart behind. And having this book, everybody needs a book which is close to their heart, which is from a time and a period in their life which was so wonderful and magnificent. Looking at the book, it just makes you smile. And this is what this book does for me. It's not about yoga. It's not about, it's not even about Tuscany, which is where I did my yoga training. It's a book which was created with love by a wonderful, wonderful person. So if you don't have a book in your collection which warms you from the inside out, then go and find one. Doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be a special bound hardback. It can be anything. Find a book which is super, super special to you and keep it close to your heart. Book number 9 is a very well used National Trust Handbook 2020. I've been a member of the National Trust for about 10 years now, and it was always a beautiful day out. The National Trust, for those of you who don't know, is a charity who owns and maintains miles and miles and miles of coastline, hundreds of houses, thousands of acres of land, and it keeps it safe for everybody. This book, for me, represents a connection with history in a very tangible way, because it tells you where you can go to see castles and cottages and houses and coastline, and it's just, for me, it's really important that I can connect with history and with the outdoors. Book number 10. When I was getting these books together, I didn't realise they were going to be 10, but I think, you know, the top 10 books for autumn for me ends with a beautiful book from my childhood. Is this one. It's called A Book of the Seasons, an anthology, and it's a book of poems for spring, summer, autumn and winter, and I will read you my favourite autumn one right now. The feathers of the willow are half of them grown yellow above the swelling stream, and ragged are the bushes, and rusty now the rushes, and wild the clouded gleam. The thistle now is older, his stalks begin to moulder, his head is white as snow. The branches are all barer, the linnet's song is rarer, the robin pippeth now. For me, this poem just describes autumn. On a cold, wet, miserable day like today, a book of poems, especially ones about the season, is just the coziest thing I can think of. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Hit the subscribe button below, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, happy autumn in the Northern Hemisphere, and happy spring in the South. Everybody stay safe.